Romance of Sui and Tang Dynasties Chapter 38.
And to really set the stage for this insanity, we have to start with the emperor himself, Emperor Yang. The level of decadence is just, it defies belief.
It really does. So he's planning this spectacular, massive voyage down to Jiangdu. The centerpiece is what they call the dragon boat.
Which was less a boat and more of a floating palace, really?
Exactly. But the detail of how it was supposed to be pulled is what it grabs you.
Oh, yeah. His priority wasn't horsepower or, efficiency. It was all about aesthetic perfection. He insisted on using specially selected young women, the palace hall girls, to pull the ropes.
Just for the look of it. A vision of delicate beauty.
It sounds beautiful, but completely impractical. And Empress Xiao, who was maybe the only one thinking logically, she points this out.
She basically says, these girls can't move a palace.
Right, so her suggestion is just. It's simultaneously ludicrous and completely revealing about the court's mindset. She says, the ancients used animal-drawn chariots for flair.
So her solution is to get 1,000 specially chosen tender sheep with really fine wool. And just intersperse them among the women pulling the ropes?
Yes, for the visual effect, to make it look like some glorious ancient pageant.
1,000 sheep, while the empire's teetering on the brink of collapse.
Starving peasants are sharpening axes, and the guy in charge is worried about spacing the fluffy sheep correctly. That's the moment the dynasty is it's completely divorced from reality.
And that fantasy was about to get a very violent interruption. So, while the sheep are being groomed, the empire gets this harsh reality check. The unrest that had been simmering it boils over. It's a full-blown national security threat.
And the initial strike was quick, it was shocking, and it was successful. The sources point to two rebel leaders, Sun Anzu and Du Jiande.
They seize a key stronghold, Gaojibo.
And more importantly, they kill the local prefect, Guasuan. That sends a clear message. We're organized and we are lethal.
And that victory immediately helps them consolidate power. They link up with another big force, Zhang Jincheng, and this bandit leader, Gao Shida.
The officials are panicking. They send warnings to the capital saying, our local forces are paralyzed. They don't dare face them.
The emperor, predictably, goes from sheep arrangements to just blinding rage. But, to his credit, the danger was so real that he knew he needed an actual military mind.
This is where the court intrigue briefly, intersects with actual talent.
Right. Consort Yuan Zian steps in and suggests her maternal uncle, Yang Yuchen.
She praises him as being skilled in both literary and martial arts, the total package.
And what's interesting is that Yuchen was retired. He was just living his life.
But the emperor remembers him. He knows he's capable, he's reliable, and maybe most importantly, he wasn't caught up in all the court factions. He was clean.
So the response is immediate. He's recalled, made Grand Commander, given 100,000 elite soldiers, and told to go clean up the region.
This wasn't a small mission. This was the empire betting everything on its top general to stop the collapse.
And Yuchen, he wastes no time proving that trust was well placed. When you look at his first moves, you realize, okay, this is not a guy who just wins with brute force. He's a chess master.
Absolutely. Let's look at his first campaign against Zhang Jincheng. Yuchen shows up, sets up his camp, and then he does the absolute last thing you'd expect from a general with 100,000 elite troops.
He does nothing.
Nothing. For over a month, he refuses to fight.
It's pure psychological warfare. The rebels are out there every day hurling insults, all sorts of vile abuse, as the sources say.
And Yuchen just takes it. He lets Jincheng and his men start to believe that this great general is actually a coward, or maybe he's just incompetent.
He lets their arrogance become his weapon.
Exactly. While Jincheng is busy feeling superior, Yuchen secretly sends two of his generals with 2,000 elite cavalry across a river to set up a hidden ambush.
The classic pincer move.
Executed perfectly.
Yeah.
Yuchen finally challenges Jincheng, but he uses a formation that looks messy, disorganized. He's inviting an attack.
Jincheng takes the bait. He charges, thinking he's about to crush a confused enemy.
And the moment he commits, the ambushes spring from both sides. The rebel army is instantly split, it's demoralized, and it's utterly crushed. Jincheng himself flees, but he's captured and executed before the day is out. A total victory.
But then Yuchen does something that I think made him even more dangerous to the rebels.
Yes. This is key. After the battle, gives the captured loot to his soldiers, which is standard. But then he orders that every single captured woman and child be returned safely to their homes.
That is such a critical detail.
Yeah.
In this kind of warfare, civilians were just spoils of war. Why was that move so vital?
Because the rebels' #1 recruiting tool was fear and hatred of a predatory government. If the imperial general shows moral leadership, if he demonstrates that his army protects non-combatants, it just completely undermines the rebel narrative. Yichen wasn't just defeating an army, he was trying to win back the people.
That's a very sophisticated political mind for a general. But that success meant he was now turning his victorious army toward the main rebel headquarters.
Right, towards Dujian, Sun Anzu, and the main leader, Gao Shida.
In Dujian, he immediately sees that Yichen is not like the other commanders they faced.
He gets the reports, and he tells his allies, look, this guy is a genius. He uses troops like a god. He knew a straight-up fight was suicide.
So he recommends a strategy of patience. He tells Gao Shida, hold our strongholds, don't fight him, let his supply lines stretch, let his troops get tired, and then we strike.
It was a very sound plan.
But that brings us back to that fatal flaw, overconfidence. Gao Shida had watched Yichen sit still against Jincheng, and he completely misread it. He thought it was weakness, not strategy.
He basically thought Yichen was a coward who just got lucky once. He believed he was invincible.
So he ignores Dujian completely. He and Sun Anzu launched this disastrous night raid with 10,000 men.
And he leaves just a small, tired force behind for Jiande to defend the main camp.
But Yichen saw it coming.
He predicted the move perfectly. He sets up an empty camp, a classic trap, and hides deadly ambushes all around it. Gao Shida charges into a ghost town.
And realizes he's been tricked.
Too late. The result was catastrophic. Gao Shida is killed instantly, a single arrow to the throat from one of Yichen's generals. The entire 10,000-man force is just annihilated.
It's a complete rout. Militarily, the rebellion should have ended right there.
But it didn't. Dujiande and Sun Anzu managed to escape with just a couple hundred cavalry. They rally, capture a city, and raise 2,000 new troops. But Jiande, he had learned his lesson.
And this is where the whole story pivots, doesn't it? Goes from military tactics to pure, brilliant political manipulation.
Dujiande realizes they cannot beat Yang Yichen on the battlefield. It's impossible.
So he decides the general's greatest weakness isn't his flank.
It's the emperor he serves. He tells Sun Anzu to take all their remaining gold and jewels and head for the capital.
And the mission is what?
To bribe the powerful, corrupt officials and eunuchs, the people with the emperor's ear but no actual loyalty, and get them to secure a recall order for Yichen.
Wow. To get the emperor to pull his own best general off the field.
And his justification for this plan is what people still quote today. It's a stunning indictment of the whole dynasty, he says. The master trusts the wicked. When there are wicked ministers within, loyal ministers cannot succeed outside.
He's going to use the internal cancer of the Sui court as his secret weapon. The survival of the entire rebellion now rests on the corruption of the very system Yichen is fighting to save.
It's an incredible moment.
So Sun Anzu, carrying this cache of gold, literally the hope of the rebellion, starts his journey to the capital using an alias.
Right, Zuanxing. He stops at this seemingly random rest house in a place called Baiju Village, and this is where fate just steps in and turns up the tension. He's giving a room, but there's already a massive guy in there, sound asleep, and the sources describe him so vividly. Broad shoulders, huge waist, breathing like thunder.
Just a giant of a man.
Yeah.
Anzu wakes him up, and the man just introduces himself as Wang, courtesy name Bodang.
Now, Anzu, being part of the rebel network, he instantly recognizes that name, Wang Bodang from Jiang, a trusted comrade of another major rebel figure, Shan Xiangxin.
What are the odds?
Exactly. So Anzu, realizing he might have an ally, he spills everything. The huge defeat, Gao Shida's death, Yichen's brilliant campaign, and this desperate mission to bribe the court.
And then Bodang reveals his own reason for being there, which just ties everything together.
He says he's waiting for his sworn brother, a man named Li Mi.
Li Mi, that's a huge name in the anti-Sui movement.
A very big name. Li Mi had been captured after a different failed rebellion. He was being transported under guard to the capital for execution, and Bodang knows his convoy is scheduled to pass through that exact inn tonight. So you have two critical rebel objectives converging in one tiny rural rest house. Anzu needs to get gold into the capital.
And Bodang needs to get a crucial leader out of the capital's custody.
Anzu, he's still thinking like a soldier. He says, great, let's just attack the guards when they get here. We'll kill them and run.
The direct approach.
But Bodang, this huge, powerful-looking man, he rejects it instantly. He says, look, a big bloody fight on the main road to the capital, that's too messy, it'll end badly.
So what's his plan?
He states a principle. Only wisdom can achieve this, not force. He says he has a secret, detailed plan for a quiet extraction to get Li Mi out safely.
Our source material here details a desperate intervention. We're following two rescuers, Wang Guodang and Sun Anzu.
Right.
And they spot four absolutely vital and heavily guarded prisoners being transported, most likely for execution.
And these are big names: Li Xuansui, Wei Fuzi, Yang Jishan, and Bing Yanzhen.
All of them shackled, wearing those heavy wooden neck stocks, the cangs and chains. I mean, they are completely immobilized.
So the clock is ticking, the odds are terrible. Their mission isn't just to spring these four men.
No.
It's to make them disappear completely into the vast landscape of ancient China. And we'll break it down into, 3 crucial steps?
Yeah, I think so. First, establishing a perfect commercial cover. Then, executing the fatal bribe and banquet. And finally, analyzing the escape strategy, which is shockingly counterintuitive.
It's a study in exploiting human nature.
That's it exactly. Let's unpack that first move.
Okay, so the first problem is just the approach. How do you, as a rescuer, openly walk up to a high-security transport detail? You've got the escort officer, the Sen and his runners, without immediately being seen as a threat.
You can't. So Wang Guodang's solution is it's immediate and brilliant. He had to reframe the entire situation right there on the spot.
So he couldn't act like a friend.
Or a conspirator, no. He had to act like a businessman. He spots the group at an inn, and instead of engaging them directly, he goes straight to the inn's counter.
And he's faking distress.
Yeah, he's pretending to be short on travel funds.
And the goods he uses. This is key, right?
Oh, absolutely. He offers to sell 10 rolls of high-quality loose silk cure, and he makes a point of describing it as tight and heavy.
So this isn't just some low-value stuff. This is a luxury item.
It's liquid capital. He asks for 2.5 taels of good silver per roll. The innkeeper says no, which actually helps him.
How does that out?
Well, the innkeeper confirms the price is fair, but he's just not a buyer. But the guards and the officer, they're listening.
Oh, of course.
They see the quality, they hear the price, and their mental focus just shifts entirely. It's no longer about prisoner surveillance. It's about potential personal profit.
That's a first crack in the wall.
Exactly.
And this is where the captive, Li Xuansui, shows this incredible situational awareness. He sees Wang Guodang, he gets the signal, and he immediately elevates the whole performance.
He does. He approaches the counter, still wearing the Kang, mind you, which must have been an absurd spectacle.
I can't even imagine.
And he acts with this dramatic flair, announcing that since his death day approaches, he has no more use for his wealth.
Wow. It's dramatic irony used as a tactical tool.
Perfectly put. And he agrees to buy not just the original 10 rolls, but he asks for 5 more. A total of 15 rolls.
So he's not just helping his friend sell something. He's demonstrating to the guards, look, I'm a man of wealth, and I'm willing to part with it. Quickly.
Exactly. It makes the whole commercial transaction look completely legitimate. It also provides the perfect excuse for the prisoners to start pooling their silver openly.
Right. If they were seen passing silver around secretly, that's a bribe.
But if it's payment for high-quality silk...
It's just a business deal.
And once that transaction is established, the guards are already compromised. They're no longer thinking about security. They're just calculating their cut.
They're already mentally spending the money.
With the silk purchased, the next phase begins. The 4 prisoners produce a total of 100 taels of silver. And this silver is distributed with, surgical precision. It shows they understand the internal hierarchy of the guards.
And the key facilitator here is one of the jailers, a guy named Zhang Long. Why him? Why is he so central to this, even though the escort officer is the highest rank?
Because Zhang Long is the cynic. He's the logistics professional. He gets how the system works and, how to make problems disappear. The biggest bribe goes to the high-ranking officer.
Okay.
He gets 50 taels plus half the silk. The source literally calls him money-driven. He's the vulnerable decision-maker.
But Zhang Long gets 10 taels just for promising to, clean up the mess?
To bury the bodies later.
That's a chilling detail. It tells you just how prepared they were for the consequences.
It does. Zhang Long's loyalty is bought not with friendship, but with the promise of a quiet profit for a necessary evil.
And what about the rest of the guards?
The remaining 8 runners and guards each get 5 taels and 1 roll of silk. This ensures every single person in the escort detail, right down to the lowest runner, is financially invested in the prisoner's well-being.
At least for now.
At least for now.
So once the money's handed out, Sun Anzu moves to the next phase, the social contract.
Yes. He suggests converting the remaining money into a shared meal, the Trail, or Small Transaction Harmony wine. They pull together about 3.7 taels and order high-quality food and lots of wine.
This is the critical psychological trap.
It is. The officer, he initially resists. He suggests they should all eat separately to, maintain the official facade.
But he's just accepted 50 taels and a bunch of silk.
He's already complicit. And on top of that, the text explicitly says he's a wine guest, a lover of alcohol.
So he's caught. Why does he let them all join in? Why risk mixing with the very people he's supposed to be taking to their deaths?
Because of the cultural weight of that day. It symbolizes sealing a deal. By accepting the massive bribe, he's entered into an unofficial partnership. To then turn down the shared wine would be an insult. It could even jeopardize the payment he just got.
So he chooses the party over his job.
He chooses indulgence and social compliance over professional sobriety. The text says they drink heavily, opening their hearts. They have completely abandoned their duty for comfort and greed.
It's the ultimate voluntary professional suicide.
They traded security for a good meal and a handshake.
So the timing for the next phase had to be impeccable.
Absolutely. They wait until the second watch, which is roughly 9 to 11 p.m. This is when the night has settled, and crucially, when the officer and guards are 7 or 8 parts drunk.
Still aware, but very, very compromised.
Exactly. Still cognizant enough to notice a change in the wine delivery.
Which is when Wang Badang provides the perfect excuse by complaining the wine has gone cold. This lets Sun Anzu volunteer to go fetch a newly heated pot of wine. He claims the in attendants are all passed out drunk.
So he's isolating the delivery system. The crucial package is now in the hands of the rescuer. And the heat is essential. We don't know for sure, but maybe it helped dissolve the agent or mask the taste, or maybe it just fit the cultural expectation of drinking warm wine. Whatever the reason, it provided the perfect cover.
And he makes sure the officer and guards drink first.
Insists on it. He makes sure the officer and all 8 guards drink the first large cups from this new pot.
And the result is just terrifyingly efficient.
Immediately after they drank, they all collapse. Fell into the dust. We don't know the exact agent, but it was powerful and it was fast acting.
And Sun Anzu has this dark humor moment where he's worried the medicine's strength might be too weak.
Yeah, which just highlights the extreme risk they were taking.
So what happens next? The efficiency of these next few moments is what saved them, right?
Totally. There is no panic flight. It's just a targeted dismantling of the evidence against them. Wang Bodang immediately goes for the physical shackles.
He just breaks them.
He uses sheer strength to break the heavy gangs. The text says he literally twisted the wood apart.
Meanwhile, Li Xuansui, who was just in chains moments before, he maintains total tactical clarity.
He does. He goes straight for the officer's box to find the critical paper trail.
The transport documents. The orders.
And he burns them over the candlelight. This is arguably more important than the poison.
I agree. The poison dealt with the immediate physical threat.
Right.
But destroying the Gongwen, that paralyzes the bureaucratic pursuit. Without the official papers, the local authorities don't know who is being transported, where they were going, or even who is responsible.
It delays the alarm and confuses the search parameters, exponentially.
Then they grab their assets, the 15 rolls of silk and the silver.
Because in this era, capital is survival.
And 7 of them, the 4 prisoners, the 2 rescuers, and a small attendant, just quietly slip out. They didn't even stop for breath. They covered 50 to 70 miles. What is that, about 15 to 21 miles?
Something like that. All by the 5th watch, well before dawn.
But that initial high-speed sprint was only phase 1 of survival.
Phase 2 is strategic disappearance. And this begins with the first key departure. Sananzu leaves. He says he has to attend to elder brother Du's son.
He's separating his fate from the groups.
Yes, but not before delivering the crucial tactical principle.
Which is, don't stick together.
Do not stick together. He warns them that fleeing as a crowd makes them an easy, identifiable target. He says they must split into at least 2 or 3 paths immediately to confuse the pursuit that he knows is coming.
This elevates them from just being friends to being professional strategists.
Absolutely. Their loyalty is to the goal of freedom, not to, keeping the group together. So after Sananzu leaves, the remaining 5 reach a 3-forked road, a podia, and the debate over the escape route begins.
And Wei Fuxi and Yang Jishan choose the small road, the path of least resistance, you'd think? Maybe it's quicker or less conspicuous?
Right. And Wang Wadeng and Li Xuansui take the large road. And then there's Bing Yanzhen.
Yeah, he initially claims he has his own secret route and just leaves alone.
But then comes the twist. Bing Yuanzhen, the wild card. He quickly circles back and catches up to Wang and Li on the large road.
And he admits he was just fooling the others.
Yeah, testing their reactions. And then he delivers the most profound piece of tactical wisdom in the entire chapter.
He argues that the large road, the Xi, is counterintuitively the safest. Why? That seems crazy.
Well, think about it. If you're escaping a jailbreak, what's the natural inclination of the military, the local forces, the Brazos V? They're going to assume the fugitives will hide in the difficult terrain.
The small back roads.
The small roads. It's a genius analysis of bureaucratic inertia. He understands that military commanders rely on protocol and common sense.
So the small roads are going to be swarming with search parties.
Exactly. By choosing the main road despite the higher visibility, they are counting on the pursuers to overthink it and look somewhere else. They're literally exploiting the assumed fear of these escapees.
That's the ultimate demonstration of confidence. They are betting their lives that the authorities will follow the path of expectation.
Which will allow them to move quickly and efficiently on the main road, essentially traveling right past the dragnet without being noticed.
Wow.
And to seal that disappearance, they solidify their new identities. Because staying free isn't just about distance, it's about blending in.
Right. So Li Xuansui becomes a Taoist or a monk?
Yeah. Bing Yuanzhen becomes a traveling merchant, I see, and Wang Bodang acts as his attendant, a huis.
From high-value political prisoners to a simple traveling monk, a merchant, and his attendant, all in, 12 hours?
They created a new, untraceable social unit designed specifically to avoid suspicion on the large, busy roads. It's the perfect end to the whole plot.